A very warm and lovely welcome to our leadership segment on Moments with Inonge. I am your host, Inonge, a speaker, trainer, and coach with the John Maxwell team. Well, to begin our leadership segment, allow me to start with a question. And this question is, how tall can a tree grow? Very funny question, right? How tall can a tree grow? Please drop your comments and let me know your opinion on how tall a tree can actually grow. We've got a very interesting topic, and before we get into that topic, allow me just to share some of the services that we offer on Moments with Inonge. And one of them is a free 30 minutes coaching, which is labeled the history of your future, the history of your future. So this is a very, very interesting and wonderful eye-opening, coaching session. I believe those that are watching and have actually gone through that free 30 minutes coaching session, you can actually agree with me. So for those that haven't yet gone through that 30 minutes free coaching session, why not be intentional? I mean, it's free. All it's doing is taking up 30 minutes of your time. And this 30 minutes of your time, I can bet you will not regret having invested it, because the 30 minutes free coaching session, the history of your future, is really, really eye-opening. And another service that we're currently running is the one-on-one the one-on-one coaching session, which is Put Your Dream to the Test by John C. Maxwell. So this Put Your Dream to the Test is very, very good. The coaching is wonderful. I believe lots of people that are currently watching that are actually going through the coaching session can attest to that. It's very, very powerful and very, very rewarding. So for those that haven't yet gone through the free 30 minutes coaching session, I urge you to do so. I urge you to do so. All we need to do is actually strike a balance on what time I am free and what time you are free. Just for 30 minutes. It's very eye-opening, and I recommend that you actually do it. And for those that want to go a step further, I recommend the Put Your Dream to the Test. So for those that are watching and actually have gone through the Put Your Dream to the Test coaching session, I think you can say one or two things about it. It's really, really great. And so is the free 30 minutes coaching session. So there's a question on the screen, guys, and that's, how tall can a tree grow? How tall can a tree grow? The answer to that question has got a lot to do with our segment tonight, our leadership segment tonight. So if we can get one or two answers, then we can get started. So for those that are watching us for the first time, we have our live sessions. Every Sunday, we have an inspirational segment at 1 p.m. That's 13 hours, Southern African time. And every Monday, we have the motivational segment at 19:45. We also have the leadership segment, which is this one that you're currently watching, every Tuesday at 19:45. So we come online every Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we have inspirational write-ups. We have sometimes clips, anything that is going to inspire us based on, what we discussed on either the Sunday segment, Monday segment, or the Tuesday segment. So that's how it goes. That's our schedule on Moments with Inonge. We come live every Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So please do make a date. We've got a question there, guys, and please let me know where you're watching from. It's very important that I acknowledge your presence, and thank you so much for taking time of your busy schedule to actually be part and parcel of Moments with Inonge. Don't forget to like and share, guys. Like and share, like and share, like and share. Let's get many people to be enlightened. Let's get the community of Moments with Inonge to grow. I can't do it on my own. I depend on you to also help with the growth of Moments with Inonge. So please like and share, tag somebody to watch, Drop your comments. Let me know where you're watching from. And also, please do answer that question on the screen. How tall can a tree grow? How tall can a tree grow? So we go to the segments, and we have a comment from Kufa, and Kufa says, "Good evening, Inonge." Good evening, Kufa. Thank you so much for tuning into our leadership segment tonight. And Kufa goes ahead and drops a comment that says, "A tree does not stop growing until it fells due to natural causes." Wow. Thank you so much for that contribution, Kufa. He says, "A tree does not stop growing until it fells due to natural causes." What a brilliant, brilliant answer to that question, Kufa. I really, really appreciate your participation. Guys, like and share. Like and share, drop those comments, let me know where you're watching from. And because Kufa has come in with that wonderful response, I guess we have to go right into the segment tonight, which is very impactful, based on the inspirational segment we had on Sunday and yesterday's motivational segment, because it's a new month actually. So we are unveiling the theme. We are unveiling the theme of this month, which is we are in charge of our lives. We take charge of our lives. We do not leave our lives to chance. We do not leave our lives to chance. And we got that theme from the scripture. That's Deuteronomy 30 and verse 19, where God was saying, I've put before you life and death, blessings and cursings. So choose life that you and your children may live. So we've got choices. Our topic for discussion, very important topic for discussion, is do all you can possibly do. Do all you can possibly do. That's actually our topic for discussion on tonight's leadership segment. I urge everyone to actually, participate, drop your comments. Let me know what your thought is concerning, the topic, what we're discussing, what you take home with you, and what you really feel, actually spoke to you. So, like I said, our topic for discussion is do all you can possibly do. Do all you can possibly do. The reason why I brought about that question to say, how tall can a tree grow, is because, most of the times we take things for granted. We tend to take things for granted. We tend to look down on ourselves. We don't put in so much effort into whatever it is that we are actually, given an opportunity to do. So that is why I started with that question to say, how tall can a tree grow? Because from my research actually, a tree has got no limitation to how tall it can grow. Like Kufa said, unless it fails to grow due to natural causes. So a tree actually will grow as tall, as tall as it can. It's gonna grow as tall as it possibly, as tall as it possibly can. Now, if a tree can grow as tall as it possibly can, I mean, what stops us human beings from maximizing our potential? What stops us from doing possibly all that we can do? What stops us? What stops us from maximizing? What stops us from, doing all that we can possibly do? That's why the topic for discussion today is do all you can possibly do. You see, if a tree can grow to its full potential, how about us people? I mean, what's the difference between a tree and a person? What differentiates a person from a tree? When you come to think about it, the thing that differentiates a person from a tree, choices. Choices. You see, for us human beings, we've been given the privilege to make choices. When it comes to a tree, it doesn't compromise. It grows and grows and grows and grows. But what differentiates a human being from a tree is the power of choices. And if you can remember very well, from the theme for this month, the theme is telling us that we are in charge of our lives. And how do I know that we're in charge of our lives? Through the scripture in Deuteronomy 30, verse 19, where it's saying, I've given you, life and death. Choose life that you may live. So meaning you've got a choice. You've got a choice whether to choose death. You've got a choice whether to choose life. So in this case, choices are really what differentiates us human beings from trees. If a tree can reach its maximum potential of growth, what stops you? The answer is there, choices. Because what makes us human beings a very, special species is the ability to choose, the ability to make choices. That's the ability that God has given us that makes us so superior among these other living species. The power of choice. You see, the thing with the tree is a tree never grows like, let's say, half tall. No, it never grows like half tall. It grows to the max. It grows to the max. So looking at us, if we're talking about the power of choices, what choices do we as human beings have? I believe, and from the research that I was doing to come up with this segment, I believe that we've got, two choices. We've got two choices, and our first choice is to be all that we are created to be. We've got a choice to be all that we are created to be. Remember the anchor scripture that's backing our theme. I've given you life and I've given you death. Choose life that you and your children may live. Meaning we've got choices. We've got choices whether to live. We've got choices whether to die. We've got choices whether to choose life. We've got choices whether to choose death. And then every human being, according to the word of God, we are given, potential. Everything that we need is within us. So we've got choices. And we're going to look at these two choices, which is to be all that we were created to be. That's choice number one. Two is to be part of what we were created to be. We've got two choices, guys. You can be all that you were created to be, or you can just be part of what you were created to be. In this life on earth, you can choose to live or you can choose to merely exist. Choosing to live is actually making the most out of your life. And choosing to merely exist is just being laissez-faire about everything. Just having that attitude of not wanting to put in, so much in whatever endeavors that you are currently undertaking. So guys, we've got two choices. We've got a choice whether to be all we were created to be, or we've got another choice whether it's to be part of what we were created to be. To be all we were created to be is a function of giving all that we can possibly. If you're going to be all that you were created to be, then you've got to give it all. You have to give it all you can possibly do. You have to give it all you can possibly do. I mean, let's think about it. Let's just take time to, ponder on this. If today you were given, like you look at your life, right? There are certain things that you know that you should be doing, but you don't do. So now, if you took your life just a little bit more serious, and you began to do those things that you know you should do, You begin to do them consistently. You're determined about them. You are disciplined about them. You're committed to doing those things every day. Excuse me. Do you realize the kind of effect that it will have on you, say in 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years? Do you realize, how bright your life can become if you begin to do possibly all that you can do, you know, for the next 1 year, for the next 2 years, all that you can possibly do, you begin to do it. Do you realize how, this would actually add value, add color, add beauty to our lives? Most of the times, guys, we often, very often, and I have put we, I'm not even doing the segregation game right here. No, I'm not. This is a leadership segment and we keep it real. We keep it so, so real. I'm not even segregating. I'm being so open and frank. This is why I'm saying most oftentimes, we don't do what we possibly can do. We just do enough. Can I get a witness from the comments? Can I get a witness? Most of the time, guys, we don't do what we can possibly do. We don't do, all that we can do. We just do enough. We just do enough. Can I get a witness from the comments? Because I see that people online, most of the times, guys, think about it. Just, this is a leadership segment. We keep it real. There's no time for pretense. We keep it real. Most of the times, we don't do all that we can possibly do, but most of the times we tend to do just enough. And when I mean just enough, I think a lot of people, this thing, we're going to be able to relate, because most of the time what we call enough is, okay, as long as I can pay rent, as long as I have bundles in my phone, as long as I've got gas in the car, as long as I can pay GoTV, Topstar, DSTV, cable, depending on where you're watching from, as long as there's food in the house, I'm good. I'm good. How many can attest to that? How many can come out plainly and boldly, during this transforming leadership segment? How many can come out boldly and say, Inonge, I really feel what you're saying, because it's true. Most of the time, we just do enough. And what we call enough is not really what is supposed to be enough. What we call enough is just, as long as my bills are paid, as long as I've got a roof over my head, as long as I can eat till I get the next salary, as long as the children are going to school, I think I'm doing enough. I think I'm doing enough. So, sadly, very sadly, the thing that we equate enough to is an amount. We often equate enough to an amount, where, okay, say, for instance, if the rent, if maybe the rent is 1,500, then maybe gas, you say 500, that's 2,000, maybe eating allowance, maybe 1,000. So we are at maybe 3,000, transport and whatever, maybe we say we come up with 4,000. So as long as I'm getting 4-5, it's okay, it's enough. I don't have to stress more. I don't have to do anything more because it's enough. My bills are sorted. I can, go on. I can, keep on doing whatever it is that I'm doing. The enough syndrome, which is not even what enough is supposed to be, because I hope and trust by the end of this segment, we're really going to get, what the true I am doing enough actually is supposed to mean, So most of the times we equate enough to an amount, and yet it's not supposed to be like that. Enough is not supposed to be equated to an amount. Enough is not supposed to be equated to only paying the bills. No. Enough is supposed to be equated to doing our best. When you do your best, then you can say, excuse me, when you do your best, then you can actually say, okay, I have done enough. But how many times do we possibly do our best and say, okay, I have done enough? Most of the times, what we call doing enough is as long as there's food on the table, as long as I'm not sleeping hungry, it's fine. It's enough. It's enough for me. But in today's leadership segment, I want us to be transformed in the way we look at enough. I want enough to have a new meaning. I want enough to mean the best. I want enough to mean all that you can possibly do. All that you can possibly do. So let's have an example to this statement about enough being the best that you can possibly do and not, just having bills paid. Let's put it this way. So imagine that you have potential. Okay, let me not point at you. Let me point at myself so that you do not feel offended. Though this is a leadership segment, we provoke ourselves to greatness. We provoke ourselves to betterness, by speaking the truth, because the truth is what is going to set us free. So either ways, I'm going to use myself as an example. So imagine that I have the potential to actually earn 50,000. Depending on wherever you're watching me from. If you're watching from the US, you can put $50,000. If you're watching from Zambia, Kwacha. If you're watching from Zimbabwe, Zim dollar. If you're watching from South Africa, Rand. If you're watching from Europe, you can use the pound, you can use euro, whatever currency, wherever you're watching from. Because I know Moments with Enonge is a global, it's a global village. So wherever you are watching from, imagine I have the potential to earn 50,000, let's say 50,000 a month. And then what I earn is actually 20,000. You see? I have the potential deep within me to earn 50,000 a month. But what I do earn is 20,000. And I say, okay, I'm doing enough. Because in that 20,000, I'm able to pay my bills, I'm able to go shopping, I'm able to do one or two things. So I'm actually earning enough. But when we really come to look at it, is that really enough? Is that really enough? I have a potential to earn 50,000, but I'm earning 20,000, and I'm okay earning 20,000 because it's more than my monthly bills. What am I doing to myself? What are you going to call me? How are you going to judge me? For instance, if you're somebody that has given me the ability, if you're somebody that has given me capacity, you meet me and you give me ability and capacity to earn 50,000, and I'm only earning 20,000, even if it's enough to cover the bills. If you are the one that's giving me that ability, what are you going to say to me? Probably you're going to say, Inonge, you're a loser. Inonge, you are a loser. Inonge, you are not doing your best because your potential equal to 50,000. So meaning you are not doing your best. You're not doing possibly all that you can do. So sometimes, if we equate enough to an amount, we undermine our value, we undermine our potential, we undermine our ability. That's what we do. We undermine our value, our potential, and our ability if we equate enough to an amount. So like I said, if I have the ability, the potential to earn 50,000 and I'm earning 20,000, that means I ain't doing it. That means I ain't doing it. According to the one that has given me that potential, I have fallen short. I have failed in my assignment. Though 20,000 seems like a good amount, but the one that has given me that potential, when writing a report based on the investment that they have invested in me, they will say I have failed. So guys, are you doing the best that you can possibly do? Are you doing enough? Because enough is not, equated to an amount. Enough is actually equated to doing the best that you can possibly do. My question tonight on this leadership segment is, are you doing enough? Why aren't you reaching your potential, your maximum potential? Why aren't you pushing so hard? Why aren't you choosing to utilize all that you can, all that is within you? You see, let me stress this again. It's not about the value when it comes to doing enough. It's all about doing your best. It's all about doing your best. Let's have an example where if you do your best, and get 1,000, and then somebody else does their best and gets 10,000, you see, the definition of best is not the difference between the one who got 10,000 and the one that got 1,000. No. The definition of doing enough is using what you have to get what you are supposed to get, using your potential to get what you're supposed to get. So somebody that gets 1,000 and they put in their very best, they've done enough. Somebody that gets 10,000 and they put in their best, they've done their best. Somebody that gets 1,000, they put in their best to get that 1,000, equated to somebody that gets 10,000, and yet that person was supposed to get 100,000. Do you know that even if that person got 10,000, they have failed because their potential equal to 100,000, but they got 10,000. But just because they got 10,000 doesn't mean they've made it. One that has got 1,000, and that is, the best that they could possibly do, they have made it. This is why we say success is not really about, the cars that you have. It's not really about the houses that you have. Success is actually not even you competing with somebody else. Success is actually you looking at the things that are given to you at your disposal and seeing how well you have used them and what you have actually gotten out of using them. That's success. Success is not between you and the next person. Success is what have you used with your talent? What have you done with your talents? What have you done with your gifts? What have you done? That is success with what you have been given. Because if you rate success based on somebody else's results, you may judge yourself not to be doing enough, and yet you are doing your level best. You know what I mean? Maybe for somebody that is actually even making 25,000 and yet they're supposed to be making 75,000 because of, their assignment, you find that they are failing but making more than you who's actually doing your best because your assignments are different. So you need to realize that, guys, in this year 2021, in this second month, we need to up the definition of enough. We need to up the definition of enough from just paying bills to doing all that we can possibly do. And by doing this, it's about the choices that we make. It's about taking charge of our lives. It's about really, really taking charge of our lives. So I hope and trust that we've actually been transformed through this leadership segment, which is actually encouraging us to do all that we can possibly do, not just enough to survive, but actually to thrive. Not just, merely existing, but actually living. In this year 2021, at least let's do all that we can possibly do. Let's do all that we can possibly do and see what comes out of us doing all that we can possibly do. Because the danger with not doing all that you can possibly do, when you're doing less than you can possibly do, when you're being less than you can possibly be, when you're trying less than you can possibly try, it has an effect on our minds. And we don't tend to see it, but believe you me, when you're doing lesser than you're supposed to do, it actually has an effect on us. And that effect is actually, self-worth. We begin to see ourselves as of lesser worth than we actually are. But then when we're trying our best and getting results, and we see that we are really, really trying our best, it does something to us. It adds more color to us. It gives us a greater feeling, because at the end of the day, it's not about the amounts, but it's about who we become while trying to be our best. It's about who we become. So if you're living lesser than you are supposed to live, doing lesser than you're supposed to do, trying lesser than you're supposed to try, it dents your self-image and it dents your mind. Once your self-image is shut, I mean, there's nothing more that you can do. But when you're trying so hard, it gives you momentum, knowing that you're trying so hard. Even the respect that you have for yourself is uplifted, such that if any nonsense person comes to you and tells you to say you're not trying so hard, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, or they're rubbing whatever it is they want to rub on your face, at least you have the decency and the conscience to know that, you know what, I'm actually doing the best I can possibly do. I'm doing enough, and enough is not just getting my bills paid, but enough is actually doing my best. So at this point, guys, that is what I had on this leadership segment. Please let me know what it is that you've actually taken from this leadership segment, and let me know what are the consequences of you hearing this leadership segment. What are you going to do as a result of this leadership segment? What are you going to do as a result of this leadership segment? So you can quickly you can type in, I get those comments, you can type in. And we have Mlenga watching, Banamule. Good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being part and parcel of tonight's leadership segment. And we have Sarah. Sarah says, a good evening to you, Inonge. Good evening, Sarah. Thank you so much for being part and parcel of tonight's leadership segment. I am so glad you could actually tune in. And we have a comment from Musama, and Musama says, good evening from Zimbabwe. Good evening so much. Thank you for being part and parcel of tonight's leadership segment. Thank you so much. We have a comment from Manfred, and Manfred says, good evening, watching and listening attentively. Thank you so much for being part and parcel of tonight's leadership segment, Manfred. Thank you for always participating, dropping those comments. Thank you so much. And Kufa goes ahead and drops a comment and says, interesting, the power of choices. That's true, Kufa. We indeed have, the power of choices. We're not like trees. And the good part about trees is they actually maximize their potential. But for us, we've got choices, and our choice determines our output. So Kufa goes ahead and drops a comment and says, indeed, we have a special ability to make choices. We even have more dominion over our lives than other species. So why should we limit ourselves? We can grow and grow. That's very true, Kufa. We can actually grow and grow. And Kufa goes ahead and drops another comment and says, we just do enough. That's true. We just do enough. And following that one, Sarah drops a comment and also says, true, I believe that is to concur with, most of the times we just do enough just to get our bills paid and all that. And Kufa goes ahead and drops another comment and says, we limit ourselves to enough. Enough isn't our best. Enough isn't our best. And Kufa goes ahead and actually drops another comment and says, we limit ourselves. We don't usually fulfill our potential. I attribute this to laziness. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I agree with you. Usually this is attributed to laziness. We don't push much, we don't do much. So I guess in regards to this, we can think about one of the proverbs in the good book that says, whatever your hands find to do, do it with all your might. Whatever your hands find to do, do it with all your might. And Kufa goes ahead and drops on another comment that says, from today onwards, I have a choice to fulfill my potential. I will work more harder. Thank you so much, Kufa, for that comment, for that, encouraging resolution based on this leadership segment that we've just had. So, guys, for those that are watching, also let me know what your take is from this leadership segment. Let me know any comments, any contributions, any word of encouragement to somebody that may be watching, or even any word of encouragement to me. Please drop your comments. Let me know, and I'll just give you time to, type, because sometimes we're a bit slow in typing because we want to make sure that the grammar is okay, the spellings are okay. So I understand that. And usually sometimes I would log out before somebody is done typing. So tonight I want to give us a bit of some time, a bit of some time just to, type. So in the meantime, guys, for those that are online and have not done the 30 minutes free, and I quote, free coaching session, I don't know what you're waiting for. Guys, we have to be intentional. We have to be intentional about our growth. We have to be intentional about personal awareness. I mean, if you like the stuff that is offered to you, let me not even go to the inspirational segments or motivational segments, but if you like the stuff that is offered to you, on the leadership segments, why not take a step and actually, participate in the 30 minutes free coaching session? These things you start bit by bit. When opportunity comes, grab it. When opportunity presents itself, guys, opportunity doesn't get lost. No, the next person catches it. There's a time limit to this free coaching session because, as time goes on, you find that maybe my schedule is so booked, I've got no time for free. What happens? So when opportunity presents itself, as people that are trying to grow, as people that are trying to be personally aware and also, personally develop, why not take up the opportunity? Opportunity should not, pass you by, and then you see the other person. Imagine you see this opportunity is given to you and it passes you by, and then you meet a friend, and then your friend tells you to say, you know what, when I did that free coaching session with Inonge, oh my God, my mind just opened up. I began to think like on a different level, and this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And you go like, Inonge, can I actually, go through that coaching session with you? And I say, you know what, right now, my schedule is so booked because I've got this, I've got this, I've got that, I've got that. So, I mean, why not utilize the opportunity before the opportunity passes you by? So for those that haven't done the free coaching session, you can inbox me using the page. You can inbox me, or you can go to the WhatsApp button and send me a WhatsApp, and we can organize just a 30 minutes schedule and have that one-on-one coaching session. That's it. And we have another question, or is it a comment? And it's from Kufa, and Kufa says, I will inquire more about the free 30 minutes coaching. We'll try to squeeze time. Indeed, Kufa, please do. Please do. I'm looking forward. The sessions are really, really great. The interactions are just awesome. The sessions are really, really great. So please do. You know what? In this life, one thing I've come to realize is, our time will always be booked. Our time will always be booked. So you just have to be intentional about just sparing 30 minutes. Just say, you know what, okay, this 30 minutes, I'm going to spare it and do this. And you actually do it. So that is that, guys. I can't see any more comments coming in. For those that that are yet to drop their comments, I'm going to follow through. Excuse me. I'm going to follow through those comments in one of the posts that we're going to be having. So feel free, even if we end this broadcast and I haven't read your comment, please still feel free to, let your comment come in, because what happens is that on Tuesday, I pick the comments and come up with the post that can help somebody, somebody that wasn't maybe able to come online when we were online, maybe because they didn't have bundles and so forth and so on. So that's what we get to do. So guys, thank you so much for being part and parcel of tonight's leadership segment. I hope that you have been transformed, and I hope that we begin to do all that we can possibly do in all our endeavors. Remember, in this month of February, our theme is we are in charge of our lives. And like I added yesterday, is we are in charge of our lives through the choices that we make. So have a blessed night. Love you all. Have a blessed afternoon. Have a blessed morning, depending on where you're watching from. Stay super, super blessed. Love you so much. Thank you.